the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
So what does religious anxiety look like? And it wears this label of scrupulosity, and it's a real thing. And a lot of people have scrupulosity and struggle with it. And what do you run into it in your practice?
I don't all the time, or actually almost never, with scrupulosity, because they usually bring up something besides faith that's intense anxiety. But I would say that it's scrupulosity is where, like, okay, I've said the rosary and I've said it devoutly, but I didn't say it enough. I need to say it more times. To the point that you never go on to the next activity, or if you do, you're demeaning yourself because it wasn't enough, no matter what.
Yeah.
We don't accept that Jesus' sacrifice was enough. We have to do more and more and more and more.
Yeah, yeah. Or I didn't say it, or I got distracted, in the third decade, or whatever, or or I forgot what mystery I was on when I said the rosary. And now I got to start all over and do it all right and things. So
exactly.
It can lead to, it can get in the way of normal life functioning. Especially in the area of sin, right? If I think that if I start to confuse temptation with sin, I think is what happens, right? And
yes,
we all struggle with temptations all the time. And the sin is not in the temptation. The sin is in the consenting to the temptation. But people who struggle with scrupulosity often don't understand that distinction.
Yes, you're right. And then they berate themselves for even having the thought or the impulse, and it's not wrong. It's just there.
So they end up. Yeah. So how do we treat anxiety? People who can be paralyzed. And I've got clients I've worked with for a long time, and it seems like anxiety is a really tough nut to crack.
Absolutely. And some of the times, it really depends on the person. But if the person can begin to recognize that it's in excess. And so sometimes if you look like at a comedy routine, it's an action done in excess. So if you take that, if you're talking about the behavior or the thought, and start talking about how excessive it is to the point that the person can begin to think it's funny, you can't be anxious about something you can laugh at because you control it then. So helping somebody realize they've got some control over this little thing, it becomes littler and littler, and it doesn't control their life. They don't have to do what that impulse says.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you seen the Bob Newhart little thing on Just Stop It? Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Yeah.
I think a lot of times it's like, just stop it. Just stop it. Yeah. There you go.
Well, somebody said to me really quick, what's your fastest way to get rid of anxiety? I said, you're going to have to stop it.
Stop it.
That's the first thing you got to do. But then, but people actually, though, they need the support. And I think that's what as therapists we offer, whether it's religious anxiety or a personal anxiety, they need the support while they do it because they got to be able to admit, oh, this is awful and I don't like it, Yeah. And it's awful.
Well, and yes, and anxiety is good to a point because it keeps us cautious. It helps us to make safe decisions. We don't walk out into traffic. We stay out of dark alleys. It keeps us safe. It keeps us alive. It only becomes a problem when it gets in the way, I think, of normal life functioning. Like it's hard to leave the house, or I have a hard time making new friends, or things like that. Or I can't get on an elevator, these things. And but it's okay to be anxious. But it's got to be governed, I think, by right reason. Is basically what I'd say. And a lot of the work that you and I do is to help people actually think about things in the right way, that they may not be thinking about things properly. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you said that, it makes sense. I also do with people is to say, how many times have you done that and everything was okay?
Oh my goodness.
Because really anxiety is designed, like you say, for us to take in new situations, like where did I park my car so I can find it again or whatever.
Yeah.
But you always find your car. One way or the other, you found your car or you survived what you were anxious about.
Yeah.
So then we want to talk about the feeling. How do we back that down?
Yeah.
And breathing and those kinds of things really help a lot.
So, right, exactly, right. So breathing, different. So one of the breathing techniques I came across, which is kind of, because, there's I'm trying to think, 4, 5, 6, or, there's all these different ways to look at it. But I came across this Christian writer who said the way he teaches breathing to his clients is on the inhale, they say the name Jesus, and on the exhale, I love you.
Ooh, I love it.
And yeah, isn't that kind of cool? I think it is kind of uniting our faith with some breathing to help calm you down physiologically so that you get to a better place and the anxiety can go away. So that's pretty cool. So I like that. And I've tried it myself, and I try to do that with some regularity. And I find it is very relaxing and it's very helpful. So that's pretty cool.
That was the Best of the Week on Relevant Radio. The best way to listen to the Best of the Week is on the Relevant Radio app, free and always free. Download and share the #1 free Catholic app today in the App Store.